My name is Anita Davidson, and I am an account executive here at Swiftly and a former transit planner. I am super excited to be here and to tell you a little bit more about Swiftly. Swiftly is a big data platform for transportation. We are focused on making public transit networks more efficient, more reliable, and more accessible to the general population. We take very large data sets from these networks and we use them to help improve the operations of the network, planning and scheduling, as well as the passenger experience by delivering more accurate information to the apps that you already use. Before I talk about cloud-based technology and the future of transit, I want us to take a step back. From the very beginning, transit and technological innovation have been one and the same. The goals are the same for technology and public transit today as they were yesterday. Move people as seamlessly and efficiently as possible. Innovation and technological advancement allowed the horse-drawn omnibus to become an electrified streetcar. Without the internal combustion engine, we would not have our incredible bus fleets around the world. Then came computers. Who in this virtual room started their careers by run cutting by hand? And today, we are in the middle of a new era of public transportation, which is marked by the innovations around cloud technology. But this isn't the future. This is today. We are in the middle of a revolution of how public transit operates, driven by technology and accelerated by a global pandemic. As a cloud-based company, Swiftly's goal is to move as rapidly as possible to respond to the needs of our customers and their customers, your passengers. In the last few months, we've had the great opportunity to work alongside our partner agencies, and together, we've learned how to remain agile, how to maintain service reliability in the face of uncertainty, and that we can accomplish so much with not a whole lot. To demonstrate the impacts of cloud tech, I'm going to share with you 3 stories from our partners. The first story that I want to share with you comes from MiamiDade. MiamiDade Transit is a really interesting story because they were one of the very few agencies that made a commitment to their passengers to not cut service at the height of the pandemic. In order to maintain service levels, they needed to expand their fleet because they also had new capacity guidelines that they had to enact. The challenge was that the vehicles that they had access to weren't part of their pre-existing fleet and were not equipped with Cat AVL. As you all can imagine, a full Cat AVL retrofit was neither a cost-efficient nor a time-sensitive solution. Instead, they took available commodity tablets, connected to the internet, and used our software that enabled them to provide us with assignment information. This was critical for communicating accurate arrival information with their customers and maintaining visibility of the expanded fleet for their operations team. Something that would have taken years and millions of dollars took a matter of days at a fraction of the cost. Next, we're going to Asheville, North Carolina. Like many cities around the world, once shelter-in-place orders went into effect, traffic levels that had previously guided schedules dropped dramatically. Asheville needed a fast and reliable way to continuously monitor and respond to the impacts of daily changing realities so that their schedules could be accurate. Asheville Rides Transit is now able to use actual historic data to see how their schedules match up with the actual running times. ART was able to leverage cloud-based technology to quickly update their schedules to match their new operating realities that enable their operators to provide reliable service to essential workers. While Asheville used historic data to inform their schedules and provide reliable service, Comfort Delgro in Australia used the cloud to impact on-time performance with live data. So what happens when you give operators insight into their on-time performance and headway management in real time? Well, it turns out that you empower them to do what they do best, provide consistent and reliable service to their customers, which is more important than ever during a global pandemic. On-time performance is now a public health issue. Reliability is a public health issue. Comfort Del Gro reduced their number of early departures by 37% just by letting their operators know in real time how they were performing. This means that the passengers using those stops did not miss their bus because it arrived early. Those passengers did not have to wait an additional 10 to 20 minutes at that bus stop with other riders waiting for the next trip. And those passengers did not overcrowd the next vehicle. So what? What does this all mean? Well, what we've learned is that the traits of cloud-based technology, like low cost, seamless over-the-air updates, simple data access, and a reduced amount of proprietary nonsense, allowed our customers to maintain reliable operations when it was the most critical time to do so, in a way that legacy hardware and software solutions were unable to do. We also learned that it is not enough to provide solutions that support agencies in a time of emergency. We need to look forward and build tools that empower and enable a brighter future for transit. And I know it's hard to talk about a brighter future when we are about to face what promises to be one of the most challenging times to provide transit in modern history. It's hard to say what the long-lasting impacts of the pandemic will be, but we know that we cannot rebuild transit around a 9-to-5 commute. We know that central business districts are no longer the main trip destination for customers that are now working from home. As riders start to come back to transit, they need to come back to a system that meets their needs. This is an opportunity for each transit agency to radically reevaluate what it means to provide transit to their community. As we come up against these difficult times, we need to build tools that empower transit providers to utilize every resource at their disposal. As agencies and cities and innovators come together to reimagine this system, we must provide a way to think holistically of our transportation ecosystems. Fixed route, power transit, scooters, on-demand, microtransit, and bike share all need to work together and talk to one another. Like in Asheville, like in Miami, and like with Comfort Del Gro in Australia, cloud-based technology has proven to help transit solve problems quickly and cheaply. The next challenge for cloud-based technology is to unify these transportation modes currently siloed by outdated technology. Our vision for the future at Swiftly is pretty simple. Smart software, dumb hardware. Our vision is to make public transportation open and connected to the rest of these forms of transportation that people use today or that they could use tomorrow. Today, we have smart hardware and dumb software. Buses need to have a supercomputer on board to operate, but the changing needs of transit customers are quickly outpacing the rate at which these hardware systems can be updated. And we think it should be the opposite. Hardware today is cheap and as powerful as the software loaded on it. Swiftly's vision is to transform how transit agencies procure and manage onboard and offboard systems. Instead of smart hardware and dumb software, we want to flip it. This means seamless over-the-air updates, simple data access, no more proprietary nonsense, no vendor lock-in, and specialization across many companies whose products talk to one another. Cloud-based technology is what makes this all possible. In order to realize this vision, we need to partner with like-minded companies that believe in open APIs, interoperability, and the power of the cloud. That is why we are excited to share with you our partnership with Spare. This partnership will allow agency partners to visualize and optimize their entire transit system in one place at one time. We are so looking forward to connecting with you and learning how this partnership could work at your agency to enhance your transit planning and operations. Thank you again, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the conference.